A very good morning to all of you. I am Preeti Rana, working as Assistant Professor in RPIIT College. I hope you all are staying safe at home during this pandemic. Now, I'm going to conduct a lecture on network layer, that is, Chapter 4 of your subject Computer Networks. During this lecture, I'm going to consider few main points related to your network layer, that is, the service models in which the network layer works, the main concept on which the network layer is based upon, that is forwarding and routing. What is the basic requirement that we need a network layer depends upon forwarding and routing concept. Now, how actually a router works depends upon the different selection criterias. So we are going to discuss all those selection criterias in this very particular lecture. Then we have different types of networks, that is broadcast network and multicast network, in which network layer helps us how to route a particular packet. So let's begin with network layer. The network layer in the TCP/IP protocol suite is responsible for the host-to-host delivery of datagrams, or it is the lowest layer which deals with end-to-end transmission. What do you mean by end-to-end transmission? The sender's side and the receiver's side. So when we talk about end-to-end transmission, this particular layer helps us to deal with these kinds of transmissions. It provides services to the transport layer and receives services from the data link layer. So the primary role of network layer is to route the messages associated with higher protocol layers above it and also across the networks which link the distributed systems. The network layer is involved at the source host. As you can see in the diagram, that the network layer is involved at the source host, destination host, and all the routers in the path. At the source host, the network layer accepts a packet from a transport layer, encapsulates that packet in a datagram, and then delivers the packet to the data link layer. And at the destination host, the datagram is again decapsulated, the packet is extracted and delivered to the corresponding transport layer. Although the source and the destination host are involved in all the 5 layers of TCP/IP protocol suite, but the routers use only 3 layers. As you can see in the diagram, that the routers that are involved in routing a particular packet from source host to the destination host is only working on 3 layers. However, they need the transport and the application layers for control purposes. A router in the path is normally shown with 2 data links layers and the 2 physical layer because it receives a packet from one network layer and delivers it to the another network layer. That means it receives a packet from the source host network layer to the receiver host network layer. So the basic duty, the most primary duty of the network layer is definitely packetizing. As you can see in the diagram, the network layer helps in packetizing. Now, what is packetizing? As you can see in the diagram, packetizing means encapsulating the payload, the data that is received from the upper layer in a network layer packet at the source host and decapsulating the payload from the network layer packet at the destination. Okay. In other words, one duty of the network layer is to carry a datagram or a payload from the source host to the destination without changing it or using it. The network layer is doing the service of a carrier, such as the postal office, which is responsible for the delivery of packages from a sender side to the receiver side without changing or using the contents. Now, the 2 most important functions of the network layer is routing and forwarding. So we are going to discuss both the concepts one by one. So before discussing the topics in detail, let us first understand what is forwarding and what is routing. Now, forwarding is moving the packets from router's input side to the appropriate router's output side. Okay. There are many routers in between the path when a channel is established or whether it is a connectionless service. the routers that are involved in transmitting a data from the source host to the destination host, the forwarding technique is used to move the packets from router's input to the router's output. Likewise, now what is routing? Routing determines the route that is taken by the packets to from the source side to the destination side. That is routing. So routing means process of planning the channel, the trip from the source side to destination, and forwarding means process of getting through single interchange, means process of getting through single router that are involved in transmitting a data through a single communication channel. So we are going to discuss these two techniques in detail. First is interplay between routing and forwarding. So the network layer is responsible for routing a packet from the source side to the destination side. A physical network is a combination of networks. As we have very well understood the concept of the combination of networks in internetworks. So a physical network is a combination of networks, and routers are the sources that connects those interconnections. This means that there is more than one route from the source to the destination. Okay, as you can see in the diagram that there are many routers that help in sending a packet from the source side to the receiver side. The network layer is responsible for finding the best one among these possible routes. As you can see that in the diagram there are three different paths from a particular router, that is 1, 2 and 3. So this is the responsibility of the network layer, which decides that which specific path is the best suitable path for transmitting the data from the source side to the destination side. So the network layer needs to have some specific strategies for defining the best route. Then we have forwarding technique. If routing is applying strategies and running some routing protocols to create the decision-making tables for each router, forwarding can be defined as an action applied by each router when a packet arrived at one of its interfaces. Means when a packet arrived at one of the particular router, then forwarding means the action taken by this router so that the packet can arrive to its interface. There is a decision-making table a router normally uses for applying this action, and this table is called as forwarding table, and sometimes it is also called as routing table. When a router receives a packet from one of its attached networks, it needs to forward the packet to another attached network, okay, or to some other attached networks. To make this decision, the router uses a piece of information in the packet header, which can be defined as the destination address or a label, to find the corresponding output interface number in the forwarding table. As you can see that whenever a packet arrives at the router, first of all, the routing algorithm decides end-to-end path through the network, and then the forwarding table decides about the local forwarding, that on which particular path, on which particular communication interface that packet is going to transmit. So you can very well understood the concept of routing and forwarding. Then we have different phases that we usually use in describing this network layer functions. So before discussing that, we need to understand two concepts that is used for organizing a network. That is a virtual circuit or connectionless service. When we are talking about a virtual circuit, that is a connection-oriented circuit, and the second thing is connectionless circuit. So again, before discussing that concept, we need to establish the difference that we usually understood between what is the basic difference between the network layer and the transport layer. In some of the networks, the network layer runs in interface message processor or nodes, and the transport layer runs in machine, that is your host machine. So the boundary between the network layer and the transport layer is the boundary between the subnetwork and the host in the network. Okay, you are getting my point now. Subnetwork is a part of the big network. So when we are talking about the boundaries between network layer and transport layer, it is the boundary between subnetwork and the host machine on the network. As we know that the network layer provides its services to the transport layer, so the network layer services are designed in such a way that the controversy or the problems should not be there in case of different types of networks. So when we are talking about the services related to network layer, things two main goals are always considered. That is, they should be independent of sub-network technologies, and it should shield the transport layer from its type, topology, and the number of subnets present. Now, there are two, as we have discussed earlier, that there are two different concepts of connection services and connectionless services. Whenever we talk about organizing a subnetwork, two different networks are there. The two different concepts are there, the virtual circuit concept and the connectionless organization concept, that is based upon datagrams. The virtual circuit works on idea to avoid making routing decisions for every data packet that is transmitted. In this, the route is chosen as a part of connection setup. The route is used for all traffic flowing over the connection. When the connection is released, the connection is discarded. Actually, a virtual circuit is a type of service offered on a packet switched data network. So before sending any message packet related to a particular call, a virtual circuit is established between the network from source machine to destination machine using some routing method. And in connectionless organization, the message packets are independent and are known as datagrams. In such subnetworks, no route is or chosen in advance. Sometimes the datagrams are allowed in connection-oriented services also, but in that case, every routing in advance is not worked out. Successive packets may even follow different routes. A datagram is sent through the network with minimum protocol overheads. But here, more work is required in datagram subnets for routing decisions. Failures are always there for congestions that is very much frequent in these types of networks. So we will going to consider these two concepts, that is virtual circuit concept and the datagram approach in detail. Now, what is virtual circuit approach? That is connection oriented service. In a connection oriented service, that is also called as virtual circuit approach, there is a relationship between all the packets belonging to a message. Before all datagrams in a message can be sent, a virtual connection should be set up to define the path for the datagrams. Before connection setups, the datagram can all follow the same path. In this type of circuit, not only must the packet contain the source and the destination addresses, but it must also contain a flow label, that is a virtual circuit identifier, that defines the virtual path the packet should follow. Each packet is forwarded on the label, that is the virtual circuit identifier in the packet. To follow the idea of connection-oriented design, we must assume that the packet has a label whenever it reaches the router. Now we have three different concepts related to a virtual circuit packet. Three-phase process is there: setup phase, data transfer phase, and tear down phase. In the setup phase, the connection and destination addresses of the sender and receiver are used to make table entries for the connection-oriented service. And in the tear down phase, the source and destination inform the router to delete the corresponding entries. Like in setup phase, a router creates an entry for a virtual circuit. As you can see in the diagram, that a connection is established before transmitting a message. So a virtual circuit is created between the source host and the destination host. Then request packet phase. A request packet is sent from the source side to the destination side. Then acknowledgement packet. A special packet called the acknowledgement packet completes the entries in the switching tables. Then you have data transfer phase. The second phase is called the data transfer phase. After all routers have created their forwarding table for a specific virtual circuit, then the network layer packets belonging to one message can be sent one after another. Then last is tear down phase. In the tear down phase, source that is your source host, after sending all the packets to the destination host, sends a special packet called a tear down packet. Then the destination host responds with a confirmation packet. All routers delete the corresponding entries from their tables once the tear down phase is completed. Now, the second approach is datagram approach. That is also called as connectionless service approach. When the internet started, to make it simple, the network layer was designed to provide a connectionless service in which the network layer protocol treats each packet independently, with each packet having no relationship to any other packet. The idea was that the network layer is only responsible for the delivery of packets from the source side to the destination side. In this approach, the packets in a message may or may not travel the same path to the destination. Like you can see in the diagram that a message can be transmitted through any of the routers. So it may or may not travel the same path to the destination. When the network layer provides a connectionless service, each packet traveling in the internet is an independent entity. There is no relationship between packets belonging to the same message. The switches in this type of network are called as routers. A packet belonging to a message may be followed by a packet belonging to the same message or to a different message. A packet may be followed by a packet coming from the same host or from a different host. Each packet is routed based on the information contained in its header, source, and destination addresses. The destination address defines where it should go, and the source address defines from where it comes. The router in this case routes the packet based only on the destination address. The source address may be used to send an error message to the source if the packet is discarded. As you can see that the IP address that is called as Internet Protocol address, that is a special address that is used, that is added in the header part of the packet, and each packet is treated independently on the network. It can follow from the same message. There are different packets that are formed. They can follow the same path, or they can even follow the different paths. This is called as datagram forwarding table. This is also called as connectionless service. So these are the two techniques that we usually use while dealing with network layer. The virtual circuit approach, that is your connection oriented approach, and the second one is the connectionless service. So now I'm going to end up this lecture and we'll continue this topic in the next lecture. Thank you.